What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, LTA show. I got Dante in person, and you've been 2 episodes, right? Or
I think
one?
I think just one.
Well, this will be
About
the
a year
second
ago.
one. We got the camera and we got the audio. So yeah, it's been a while. We've been pretty busy with track and internship, right?
Yep. Interning.
How's that been?
It's been good. It kept me very busy. There'll be times when I get off work and I work 10-hour shifts, 7 to 5, and then I go home and work on a project from 5 to 2, 3 in the morning, and I wake up for work the next day at 7 a.m. So, or I wake up at 5:30 to get to work by 7. So,
Dang.
yeah,
Do
it's
you have
been
to commute?
about 30 minutes. Yeah, not too bad, but
It's still a lot.
yep. It's just it's part of the grind, man. It's just what you got to do.
Yeah, legit. And is this gonna be like for just the summer, or is this gonna be in the fall?
I don't know. I'm interning at a startup, so it's kind of like whenever I can get an opportunity to get a full-time job. That's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm applying places and interviewing. So yeah, it's moving in the right direction. So just wait and see.
That's awesome to hear. And you've been biking, right? I've seen it a lot on Strava now.
Mm-hmm.
No more running as much.
I kind of cut back on running. I don't know. I'm not really signed up for any races coming up, so I figure, stay in shape, but, just not do so much strain on the body. So, biking is a good exercise to where you can strengthen and, get the same kind of workout, but without all the strain on your body. Yeah, it's really fun, and you can go further a lot faster, and it's really fun going down hills. But yeah, I'm always wearing a helmet though, so wear a helmet.
Do you not wear one?
Oh yeah, no, I wear one.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, I was a little worried for you.
No, yeah, I'm smarter than that. There's some people that don't, and I wonder how they get through cycling without wrecking and seriously injuring themselves. But yeah, I'm always cautious.
Yeah. We're just eating some tacos. Since the camera can't really see it.
Coyote Cafe in Belmont. Hit it up.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the area.
That's our go-to, even for like track and cross country.
Yep. We came here, Felix and I, like when we're running at CSM.
Mm-hmm.
We'd come here after a meet, and if we didn't PR, we would take salsa shots.
Mm-hmm.
So we get like the spiciest salsa they have, which is pretty spicy, and put it in a little cup, and we just would like take it like a shot. And that was like our punishment.
Mm-hmm.
But then we go back the next week and we'd PR. So in motivation, the shots worked as motivation to, push ourselves a little bit further the next time out.
You know that actually worked during the race?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at, it was like a flat course, never ran it before. I was worried I was doing so bad because I was looking at my watch, but I guess my watch was like off. So I was like, oh, I got a PR right now. So I ran as hard as I could. I did PR a lot, but like I was like, man, if I don't PR right now, I'm gonna have to take salsa shots. Everyone else is gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually worked. Pushed through it. I think this is when you introduced me to tacos.
You ever had tacos before that?
I don't think I did. Like honestly, I've never had one because my family
That's crazy.
doesn't really like go to Mexican restaurants.
Yeah.
And get tacos. So like, I think you were the first one that got me into it.
Dang. I didn't even know. That's crazy because you grow up in California and you grow up like in the Bay Area. There's like a big Mexican community here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Mexican places like all over the place. So, dang, that's crazy. I can't even know. But yeah, I mean, you got 2 plates right there. So I think I can tell you like them quite a bit.
Yeah. At first I was like kind of worried though when I ordered it. I was like, oh, what does it look like?
You didn't know what a taco looked like?
Like I saw like, cartoons, but like not like a physical one in person.
Wow.
Because like all my friend group, we'd eat like ramen and like fries and all that,
Mm-hmm.
but never like tacos.
Mm.
So I just never knew what it looked like until I saw it and I was like, dang, I've been missing out. I think Martin was there too. I told him about it and he was like, really? It's an honor to like be able to witness this or something like that.
The first taco.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I didn't even know.
No.
Well, welcome to the taco community. I'm glad you enjoy them.
Thank you. But yeah, this will be the go-to for cross country and all that.
Yep.
It'll still hold out that memories.
And the cool thing is, like, if this is like your first ever like taco spot, this is like your go-to taco spot. Like, there's like ones that are like 10 times better. There's always gonna be like a better place somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Or different
Be
style.
adventurous. Yeah, that'd be my advice to you and to anyone looking to get into becoming a taco connoisseur.
Yeah.
Be adventurous. Go try somewhere new. And the places that have like the busted up seats that are all like cracked and like with all the foam exposed, those are the best places for real.
Is this talking from like experience?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How many of those places have you like been to?
A lot. I'd say yeah, more often than not. The places I go to are like that.
So it's pretty credible then.
Yeah, you got to look for those chairs, man. Those chairs are. If you see those chairs, you know what's up. You know they know what's up.
That's cool.
Mm.
I think after Coyote, I went to Guadalajara.
Mm-hmm.
That place is pretty good. I went to Pancho Villa, I think, in downtown.
Oh, okay.
That one's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many more places. This is just like in San Mateo. I haven't really gone farther out.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was in San Francisco, and like you assume that like the Mission District has the best tacos because of the community there, the Latin community there.
Yeah.
But the best like Mexican food I had in San Francisco was in West Portal. Like the whitest neighborhood of San Francisco had the best tacos in SF, in my opinion.
Dang.
I forget what it's called. But it's this little spot at the end of West Portal, and I don't know. It was like this little hole in the wall place, but it was really good. I'll take you up there next time. Next podcast, we'll go there.
I'm down. Be like, all right, day 2. We're gonna hit up all the taco places.
We should just make a vlog.
Yeah, honestly.
Just go around trying different tacos all day.
Thank you for that idea. I will now incorporate that. And you'll be the very first guest.
I'm hella down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember, do you remember when you were qualified in the championships and then me and Martin?
Yeah, that was the worst race of my life. I haven't been the same since in terms of running.
I don't want to like remind you, but like there was some funny moments when it was first it was going to be you and Martin.
Uh-huh.
But then I was like hesitant. I was like, should I really go? Because like I'm not racing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know what? I'm going to cheer him on. And then we went all 3 together.
All right.
Martin got his like smoothie, whatever, that giant,
Yep.
whatever shake.
It was a milkshake, I think.
Yeah, so me and him got one. And then the day before the race, we played Mario Party. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
First time ever. And we were just laughing. And I think Coach heard us one time
Yeah.
at night just because we were laughing or I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, I remember that. You guys were real for coming out.
Mm.
I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I had a bad race. I think I stayed up too late the night before. I think that was the thing. Because I think we're up to like 12, but like I was planning on being in bed at like 10:30. But I was like, fuck it, we'll play Mario Party, we'll play Mario Kart, whatever. Have fun.
Yeah.
And like I didn't know I had like an opportunity to qualify. Because I just assumed like, I made it here. Like, I don't think I'll make it to state.
Yeah.
Which is normally not my mentality going into a race, but I think like the way that the season went that year, it was kind of like just being in NorCal was like a really big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't anticipating making state, and then I wake up the next morning, we're heading out to the van, and our coach is like, hey, so you don't have to put in a Herculean effort today. Like, just hit your PR that you hit last time you were here, and you'll be good to go. I was like, all I need to do is match my PR. Like, that's it. All right. So I go there. I mean, I didn't end up hitting it because I was just really tired that day and just not there. But yeah, I don't know. But after that, like, it's weird. Like anytime you're in like a big sporting event or a big race or a big event of sorts that doesn't go your way, it's like you get into like this like depression. It's really weird.
It like hits you hard.
It hit me really hard, and like the first like week after that like was like just weird. I was like, who am I? Like, I don't know. I guess like
you just like question yourself.
Yeah, question everything. Yeah, and you question like why you're still running and like why.
Dang, is that
your performance was so terrible that day? I think I averaged like 7-minute pace or something, and like the slowest pace ever for a race. Whereas like before I was over there, I was averaging like I think I averaged like a sub 5:30.
Yeah.
For 4 miles, which is really solid.
That definitely is.
So I don't know. That's a really big gap. I just didn't have it that day, but yeah, you start to question everything about yourself, and then it just kind of plays in. And then I remember I had an injury that off season that kept me from training, so I fell behind in training. And then next thing I know, I have like 2 weeks left to break, and we're gonna start meeting in 4 weeks. So I had to get my mileage up really quick, and I went up too fast, and I think I went from like 30 to 60 miles in the span of 4 weeks, which is ridiculous.
That really is.
And I think that contributed to injuries I had later on in the season, but yeah, I don't know. And then I ended up having a stress fracture that ended my season about a month later, so I think that was a pretty much did me in. It was just the overload too quickly. But yeah, looking back, like I think I should have been more patient. I should have been more forgiving, I guess, of my horrible performance. Like, yeah, it was bad, but I don't think I needed to like get into the rut that I was in, kind of thing, you know. Another thing I wish I did too was cycling, but I didn't have a bike back then, so. But had I cycled while injured, I think that would have helped me a lot and helped me get back much faster.
You know, though, I will say though, after that year, you've been like kind of like a role model to me, honestly. Like, at first I was looking back, I was like, in high school, because I like met you briefly.
Yeah, we were cool, but
track. Like we didn't like talk.
No, not really. Like,
I just knew you were part of the distance team. I was like, dang, who is this guy? Like, he just came out of nowhere and like was like with the varsity already. I was like, what? I was like, how did you? At first I was like, obviously in high school I didn't really know much about running. All I knew was like, you know, you're either fast or slow. Really it. Like, I didn't really know much about mileage and all that stuff. But I was like, man, is this guy like gifted? Or is he like, I don't know, genetics? So I was pretty jealous. And I remember cross country, I was like, dang. Because you ran it with the top 7, right? For the team. I was like, dang, I want to be like that. So in cross country, I was like, all right, I'm going to step it up. And then when I saw you in a CSM, I was like, perfect. I can train with this guy.
Well,
obviously there's still a little gap in terms of like skill. But I think just like seeing how like you started from like no really long prior experience of like running to all of a sudden like being at the top, I was like, dang, as long as you put in that hard work.
Exactly.
So then like last year, I remember my last season, I was trying to train kind of like what you did. So I'm gonna try to go for 40 miles. I've never hit 40. Once I did, I was like, dude, how does Dante do this? I was like, how? This is like takes so long, and then you have to do like longer runs than usual. I was like, whoa, respect. And then just, I don't know, I just wanted to keep PRing and then just keep improving and just keep updating me on that.
Yeah. I don't know, it's the mentality of everything, I think. And everyone's body is different and can hold a different number of miles. Like I would say my sweet spot's like around, like I noticed I would get my best results competing at around like 45, 50. But some people are a little higher, some people are lower. It all just kind of depends on, you know, what your body can handle. And if you're like a lower mileage guy, kind of guy, like I would, yeah. So if I were in your position, like I would probably increase the intensity, so that way you're still getting like a good quality run, but you're not like, I don't know how to say it, like
you're not like hurting and all that.
Yeah, you're not going to overdo it. You're not going to overdo yourself. But yeah, that's what I notice a lot about lower mileage guys, that they're all like super, like they run at really high intensity.
Oh, like from high school?
Yeah, whereas like, I mean, that's kind of what I do now because I don't really have much time to run and work out as I did before in, you know, high school and early college. But yeah, like I would run like 20 minutes, but I would be running like sub 7 pace, whereas like before, like I'd be running like 4 to 5 or somewhere around like 6 to 8, but I'd be running at like 7:30, 7:40s. Whereas like now, if I were to do that, I can probably do that at like sub 7:20, sub 7:10, like low sevens. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes from strength too. Strength training, cycling helps a lot, I noticed. What else? Just
Fitness
training your body just to move at that speed.
Did you change your diet when you were like trying to get better at running, or did you keep it the same? Or?
I would say in high school I started to kind of pay more attention to what I was putting into my body. I know I cut down on sugar a lot because I would drink soda, I would drink like chocolate milk and eat lots of cereal, and you know, and I want to say like around like senior year I was like, okay, I need to start like eating better. So I started focusing more, like if I wanted sugar, like I eat like fruit instead of like whatever candy or, you know, soda. I drink nothing but room temperature water, because cold water is not really the best for you and it doesn't really hydrate you.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So room temperature water is the best. What else would I do? I go to sleep earlier. I wake up early. I go out for a run. I noticed oatmeal was a good one. When I got to college, I started eating oatmeal in the morning, and because practice would be at around 1 o'clock, and usually I'd eat lunch around 1 o'clock. So I figured, okay, I need to eat something that will hold me over until then. Like I'll have like a little snack, like a bar, like an apple or something, just kind of hold me through, get me to practice. But after practice I can eat. But yeah, I noticed oatmeal was a good solution to that, as it brought me to like around 11ish, and then I would have like a small snack, and then I go to practice, and then I would eat whatever I wanted after. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's all about just kind of finding your niche and what works for you, kind of thing. But yeah, that was my solutions.
You know, I remember I signed up for a weight training class the second year of my CSM career, and I had weight training at 11, and then it'd be until like 12ish, 12:30. So like I didn't really have anything to eat. I would eat in the morning. I don't know how I survived, but like,
That's a lot.
like yeah, and then like I think it like really helped me cut down, but not like the healthy way.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
Yeah,
because if you're doing weight training, running, and then sometimes we would weight
so
train
double-
after our
double
run,
down.
right? So yeah, that's a lot. Wow, I wouldn't be able to manage that for sure.
Yeah, and I was eating salads too. that was not like sustainable.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, but if you eat like enough in the morning, give yourself enough time to digest it and absorb the nutrients, like it should be enough. But
I don't know how I did it.
honestly, I don't know how I did it either. Because I mean, now I try it. I mean,
You try to do the same routine you did before.
yeah. I don't know. I think I'm also more busy, and I'm doing a lot more now than I was before.
Oh, the camera got too hot.
Oh.
We're still recording the
Oh, on audio? Okay. I'm just doing more than I was before. So I think that's why I'm a little bit more hungry now than I was before during college. It's crazy. I don't know how quickly life progresses and how busy you get. Just, I mean, compared to even just a year ago, like I thought I was busy then, but no, like
it's just more than what you expected.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
I'd say though it's kind of nice to look back at it, be like, wow, can't believe I did all this, but now look how much I'm doing now.
I look back and I'm like, wow, life was so easy. I thought it was so complicated and so stressful. Like
senior year was like, man, that can't get any worse, or it can't get any worse.
Yeah, or like even at CSM, like I'd have like a bunch of work to do in practice, but yeah, I mean that's nothing compared to what I do now. I didn't stay up till 2 a.m. I didn't, work 10-hour shifts.
That's crazy. 10 hours?
Yeah.
Isn't that overtime?
No, because I only work 3 shifts a week, so it's 30 hours. So once you hit over 40, then that's overtime. But yeah, I'm considered part-time, so they have me work 30.
Part-time? Wow. I'm surprised you do more than 8, because I thought 8 was the maximum, like in terms of like hours.
It is if you're working 5 days, because if you work 8 hours 5 days a week, that's 40 hours. So anything over that is considered overtime. Anything over 40 hours for the week is overtime. But yeah, if you're still under that 40 hours, like you're still in straight pay.
That's surprising. How do you do that? 10 hours? I've done 8 hours, but I just can't imagine doing 2 extra hours at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to, but you do it for a while and you get used to it, and it just becomes normal. It's weird.
Normal?
Yeah, and then I've got enough energy to where I can, like, because when I first started, I couldn't like go running or work out or do anything after. I'd just be so exhausted. But you build up an immunity to it, and I'm able to run and work out and do stuff after I get off, and have enough energy to work on a project, for an extra 5-6 hours after I get home. So yeah,
that's amazing. I don't know, props to you. Do an internship, working, and then eventually you'll be going back to class. Oh wait, no, you graduated.
I graduated, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Still, like, if you're gonna do internship and then full time, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. But I probably quit the internship if I get the full time. So
Wow.
yeah.
Just quick little experience kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Get something on the resume, get a good reference. That's really what you do the internship for, and then hopefully it leads to a job in that company. But if it's a company like me, like where it's a startup, it's a little bit harder to, they don't really have the funding to hire you necessarily. They may or may not, depending on, where it is in its development. But yeah, good for the experience though, for sure.
It's pretty. I think it's like more towards your advantage, because if it does become successful, then you're like the first come first serve kind of.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, you helped us start it up. We got you a spot, or you've been here the longest. We'll give you this position.
100%, yeah. But I mean, startups is a long, grueling process, and it takes years and years and years to build up any sort of what do you call it, reputation in whatever industry you're in.
Yeah.
So even just to get like the slightest of value of your company takes minimum 2 to 3 years.
Dang. Could you do that?
No. I need to make money.
That's true. Oh wait, it's not paid?
It's unpaid. It's unpaid.
Dang. This is like community hours or volunteer hours.
There's volunteer hours, yeah.
So do they like keep track of that stuff for you? Or like
no. No. It's just, you just do the work and
just like, thanks for your time.
they're like, oh, thanks. And then they look it over. The guy I work with is really nitpicky. So he'll pick out like the smallest error, something that he wants rephrased because it doesn't fit what he wants. And then he'll go through and like tear everything else apart, and it's like, oh man, I got to start over again. And all my week's worth of work is like picked apart, and you got to start over. So it's not easy. It's a tough industry to be in, and especially when it's unpaid and you already have like another job that's basically a full-time job, or feels like a full-time job. It's it's a lot, but
I mean, it's tough. But I think like you also had experience before that, right? Because I remember you worked at Runner's Mind, right? Or am I thinking of a different store?
Yeah, I worked at Runner's Mind like in high school, like just kind of like a high school job.
Runner's Mind, and then working at the gym, Smack.
Yep. I was there for a few years.
Kind of just like dealt with all kinds of people.
Yeah.
In terms of like running community, and then like the gym kind of community, and now internship, you're just getting different experiences.
For sure, yeah. Lots of different exposure, and I don't know. It's I've been in quite a few different industries in my past few years, and dating back to when I left high school and where I am at the end of college. So, I don't know. It's all good experience, and it's kind of something you do throughout college. You just kind of experiment and figure out what you want in life and where you want to go and stuff like that. So it's really what it's meant for. But
yeah, it's well said right there. All your experiences leading up to this moment.
Yep.
You're gonna become the next better version of yourself.
Exactly.
Every single year.
Exactly.
For a little reflection, and then we'll still look back at all those cross-country times and memes and all that sort of stuff.
For sure.
I don't think we really had a meme going on. More of just we would like talk about Coach. That was it.
I feel like we had some memes. Me, you, Martine.
We didn't really. The only thing was just like tacos or something. Cause like
we had that, and we had teammate drama. We had I don't know, just kind of stuff like happening within the team that was like, okay, like we'll move on, I guess, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah. We're a pretty small family, honestly. Like it was just us three. Just got to know each other. Laughed a lot.
Yeah, and then it was just me and you for track.
Yeah.
And then
now it's like we got a slightly bigger squad.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Like that next year after I left, like he started recruiting all these people. I'm like, where was this a year ago? Like
I don't know. We got like people from Terranova and what's that? Pacifica.
Yeah.
And I think
Mills too, right?
Mills. I think San Mateo. I feel like we should have done recruiting a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
That way, I think honestly we could have had a better chance, because when all those guys came in, we got like really close to like going to coast championships or whatever, or moving up. But yeah, we fell short because like some issues. But if we had that same kind of team, I'm sure we would have gone a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Nice way to push ourselves.
For sure.
But we can't really control those things, and we still like had some learning experiences.
Definitely, for sure. It's all good experience.
I remember first day of practice, I was like, man, we gotta drive over here. I've never had this kind of thing. We wake up in the morning, run, and then the first day they're like talking about mileage and all that. I'm like, what? Like, I feel like I'm like in
Your
class.
freshman year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Coach Matt, he was like, talking about like, what's your mileage? Like, what do you hit? And then like, have you been running in the past? I'm like, oh, I feel like this is like the syllabus or something.
The
syllabus. I'm like in a
day.
class already. They're like, here, this is all the things. Okay.
It kind of is, yeah.
I mean,
but it's like your class that you're in, like it's like your full-time job and your class.
Yeah, it's a lot to manage. I remember I didn't really have any good running shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember because I had like the Asics like that I like been wearing for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So I never really had like good spikes either. Had those for like 2 years as well. So I don't know. Now I have better footwear. At least a better idea of what I need to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you learn what kind of equipment you need. I didn't know really anything about training, or like I didn't really have much of like a competitive mentality either when I first got there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I remember I go to the line in high school. I was always like super timid and like afraid of that gun going off. I was like, oh man, please don't have me race. Please don't have me race.
Everyone's got trauma from that, because then they're like, runners on your mark, and you're like, oh boy.
You're like,
and then
damn, I gotta really do this right now.
The heart starts beating like crazy. You get
The nerves, yeah.
And then you're like all shaky, and then like, all right, stand in position, and then someone's like shaking. You're like, all right, stand back up, and you're like, oh. Or he shoots the gun. He's like, all right, that was a false start, or somebody tripped. Everyone go back.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, please, just start it again. Please get it over with. Those were, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't until I got to CSM and started hearing Coach talk about like how to approach the line and like race strategy and stuff, and where I was like, oh, okay, like I can figure this out. I can get in people's heads. And so I know like the rule is like you don't wish people good luck before the race.
Really?
Like it's a very like rookie thing. And so like in high school, like I didn't know, like I actually like meant it. I'm like, oh, hey, good race. Like, because the thing is like you don't want to like be like
the
soft dude at the line.
Yeah.
Like you want to be like tough, you know what I mean? So it's like
you wanna...
I showed up to the line. I would wish people luck just to fuck with their head and like just to be like, okay, like, because I see them and they're like really focused and I know they're fast and I'm like, okay, hey man, good luck. And they look and they look back and then they're like, oh yeah, good luck. And now they're like, what? Now they're thinking like, that was a weird encounter. Like, why was he wishing me good luck? They're like,
Coach is probably laughing like, man, we should do this now. Wish everybody good luck.
yeah, I mean,
Throw 'em off.
why not? You know, you're at the line, you're competing, and you want to try to give yourself a little bit of an edge at the start. Why not get in people's heads? There's nothing wrong, you know, there's no rule against it.
Hey, how long have you been running for? Hey, what's your best time?
Yeah, just ask them random questions like, oh, what's your favorite color? Where are you from? Oh, how's the weather? You know, how was the drive up? You know, so like just random stuff.
I'm gonna start asking people that on the line.
There you go.
The ref's like me, all right, we don't got all day. Hurry it up.
No, the ref will tell you when you should get ready, and then you should get ready. But until then, just like get in people's heads.
Oh, before you line up.
Yeah, I remember like I would be so like on like studying like my opponent before a race. Like no one else did this. This is how I know, because I would tell people this and they'd all look at me like I'm crazy. And so what I would do is I would look up the times from the meets before, and I would spot like, okay, who has a time near me, or like what's a good time that I can probably hit that I can chase after, you know.
Yeah.
And so I would find the name, okay, I would search it up on Google or whatever, it would come up on like their team page, and it would be on the roster. So I click on it, I like know everything. I know where they're from, I know like their family's names, I know everything just from that search. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good to know. I don't care about that. I just need to know the time and like where, like, who is this guy, you know, what they look like, kind of thing, so I can spot them at the race. And it worked a lot of times. So that way I went into there, like, I was prepared. I knew what I was looking for. Like, so really all I had to do was just run and keep up. I didn't have to strategize or like play any game like while I'm in the race, because I've already done that pre-game. You know what I mean?
Homework.
You do your homework and you show up and you just run.
Dang.
The pros don't have to do that searching up because they already know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, but they know who they're going to go after. They know who they're chasing after, and yeah, they do their homework, and that's what sets them up for success. And yeah, that's how I did it. And I'd even go on like I go out on Strava too, and I'd find their
Do you
training.
really?
Yeah, I was crazy, dude. I would find their Stravas, and I would be like, all right, what's your training look like this week? What have you done this week? Okay. Oh, tempo. Okay. Oh, you did a track workout. Okay. And like I already know like their training and what they're geared for. I'm like, okay. So clearly, like the 1500 isn't your main race. So I'm gonna try to beat you there. In the 800, we'll see. You probably will beat me, but I'll try to keep up with you, kind of thing. Like, but we're about at the same level, kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to go that in depth.
Yeah, you have to. You gotta be prepared. You have to know what you're looking for, and
I mean, everyone's got their own strategy. I'm just surprised you. I feel like you wouldn't be that kind of person, though. I was just surprised.
yeah, I'm that kind of person.
Cause like
Yeah,
we have. I remember, Luca.
Yeah.
He would look at people's like times, and then he'd be like, okay, this guy runs so and so, but he does it with teammates. So the first day he met me, he was like,
okay.
you run this. I'm like, how do you know that? I'm like, well, I'm kind of creeped out already.
He looked you up. That's good. Yeah, he does his homework too.
Well, he does it like he looks at who he's racing against, but I don't think he goes at Strava like you do and be like, all right, this is the kind of.
Yeah, you have to know where they're coming from. Like, are they coming off an injury, or like, what's their training schedule look like? How are they going to feel going into the race, or what do they do to prepare that maybe I can add to my repertoire? So just little things like that, and you can really learn stuff from other people on Strava and the internet just by searching them up. But
that's impressive, though.
like I tell people that, and like they think I'm like crazy and I'm weird and stuff. But I mean, if you're really like you want to compete and you want to really do your best and know who you're up against, like you kind of have to look people up and see what's going on with them. But
you might as well just interview them right there on the spot. Hey, I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Can you answer them for me?
You don't really got time for that though. When you're at the meet, like it's just easier to look it up. And then if you're at the line, like you wish them good luck.
Yeah. Like I already know everything about you.
You mentioned their mom's name and their brother's name, and they're like, whoa, like no, I'm kidding, but yeah, you find out their training and what they're up to, what they're training for, and
that's something right
what
there.
they're capable of.
That's definitely something. Oh man, I don't know. I feel like you should do that with Coach. Be like, hey Coach, I know you used to run these times. I know who you ran with. To get his reaction.
Who? Which coach?
Coach Burns.
Oh, I already know his times.
I just
He's fast, yeah.
Very specific too. Be like, you ran this during this meet, and he's gonna be like,
you're like, yep.
Yeah. He's gonna be like,
Knowing him, he'd be like, yep, yeah, I did.
He'd be like, thank you. He'd be like kind of creeped out.
I don't think he would be creeped out. I think he'd be proud. I think he's one of those guys that takes pride in what he's done.
He definitely knows his stuff.
For sure.
I'd say though he's like definitely the intense, but like he really does care.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I remember like for cross country, I was like, wow, I can't believe a track coach is actually taking us to the meets.
Right.
I didn't expect it.
Right, and he's very knowledgeable too, which is I was surprised about that too. I was like, there's the sprints and jumps coaching distance, like you don't ever see that, like hardly ever.
Yeah.
But just this past fall, or not fall, because we ran cross country in the spring, but Yeah, this past cross country season, we had one of our sprints coach. Um, he coached. He was the head coach of cross country. I was the assistant. Um, Dude really knows his stuff. Like
Really?
it's yeah. So we really broke it down to the smallest of movements that make the biggest difference. It's the little details that make the big difference, is like the saying, right? And it's really true, because your form's a little off, or maybe there's something off about the way that you're running, like your foot strike, or maybe you have your hips dip a little bit on each step, or you have a little bit of a turn. And some people just don't know how to have good running form, period.
Yeah.
And that's what slows people down, and that's what prevents people from progressing, and causes injury. And so in order to prevent that injury, you need to build up the strength, you need to have the flexibility, the agility to be able to run correctly and have the correct posture. And that's something that was really emphasized at CSM. I remember when I first got there, because Coach Matt would always be on me. Like, we'd be doing strides, he'd be yelling at me from across the field, like, get off your heels, get off your heels. I'm like, I don't know what I'm just running, dude. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But yeah, so that was something we really worked on this season with our athletes at Hillsdale, and it paid off really well. We had we had like a little like shin splints, but it was never anything like, because in years past, like, we had like some pretty big injuries and people were out for a long time. And but yeah, this is like the first, I would say, injury-free year that we had as a team. And so I think that was really cool. And I think a lot of that was because we emphasized that strength and agility training that wasn't there before. And you only really work on strength and speed and pure speed training and agility if you're really like a sprinter. You know what I mean? Like, we were doing like sprinter type workouts. Like, we'd be doing like fly 30s, or we'll be doing 10-yard sprints, or we'd be doing I think it was like 100 meters on, 100 off.
Dang.
50-meter strides, things like that. Like, just short, compact, but very powerful movements, things that you would do as a sprinter. And that's what helped our kids out a lot, and I was really surprised by that. But yeah, it worked out really well, and I think a lot of people weren't anticipating that, but he sounded like he knew what he was doing, and I was all in for it. And I know it worked with me with that similar approach from CSM, so I figured, yeah, like, we'll just run with it, and if there's something I don't like, I'll give my input. But yeah, it went really well.
That's really good to hear. I mean, yeah, it's very true. All those little habits and little things you gotta fix, they definitely help you reach that bigger goal.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, just hydrating, changing a little diet. It doesn't have to be like super restrictive. Just take out something that you notice you've been eating, or
right, or even just get like an extra hour and a half of sleep, and that makes a huge difference, because it adds up over time. Maybe do a little bit of strength training at the end of a run, like do some core, or maybe do a little bit of weights, like not a lot, but like maybe like 30 minutes, 45 minutes after you're done with the run, and then that accumulates over time and builds up, and eventually you become a very strong, very fit athlete, and you're already like, you're running faster, you're injury free, and you just don't have any real issues, and you'll notice your form starts to get cleaned up too, because you have that strength, and you're able to support yourself running in that posture. Whereas before you couldn't, because you didn't have, you had weaknesses, is what Coach Matt would say. But
yeah, I mean, like, I'd say Coach Matt definitely brought out my better forms, because I remember when we were running, he'd always tell me, you're like slouching, and like,
the negative angles and all that.
I never thought of it that way. I was like, wow, like, there's so much more to just like, oh, you gotta run fast, or
absolutely.
You gotta build mileage. There's like so many like little things that we just don't realize.
Absolutely, yeah. And that was the thing, like, when I was in high school, it was just mileage and just run fast on race day, and that was really how we how we got through cross country in high school. And
Yeah.
looking back and seeing like what I've done as a coach, and the teams I've been a part of as a coach, it's drastically different, and it's so cool to see like how much the program has changed, how much the attitude has changed towards Hillsdale's cross country, and we just have better quality athletes than we did before. Because I remember the thing that stuck with me from CSM was like, we're not building you as a runner, we're building you as an athlete. And that means that's so much bigger than just a runner, because a runner can just go out and run, but an athlete is somebody who can move, is strong enough to support their body when they're running, has agility, uses proper form, things that require a lot of training and attention to detail that wasn't really used as much in high school, I remember.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how we survived that cross country and track without really any major injuries. I'm just amazed.
yeah, I don't know.
How we get through it.
I don't know. I remember I had a lot of injuries in high school too. I remember my first year, junior year track, I had a hip strain, and I was out for like 6 weeks or something. And then I came back and I like would have really bad shin splints.
Oh.
I'm like, why am I having such bad shin splints? And one, because like my shoes, I had too much stability. I didn't need that much, it turned out. And two, I was heel striking like crazy. And all that shock was just going up my shins to my knees and my hips, which was causing all that weird movement. And because of that weird movement, that then triggered the hip strain. So it was a whole chain of events, and a whole,
Dang.
like that whole chain was just getting nonstop trauma, and there was just no recovery from it. So yeah, it was good to get that cleaned up, and now you run clean, and I haven't really had any injury since the stress fracture, but that was just from overworking myself, not really so much from the form.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, there's so many more runners now, looking back at it. Like, a lot of people doing fun runs, a lot of people doing more marathons, ultra marathons. I don't know, it's nice to see a bigger community, kind of like in Hillsdale. Like, I remember sophomore year, we had a decent team. Like, it was like 20. Then the year after that, 40 or 30.
Yeah.
Then senior year, man,
that was a big team.
It was, yeah. Never really experienced it, like that kind of big group setting.
Then you go to CSM, there's 3 people.
Yeah, you start small, go big, and then you go small.
You go to non-existent. Yeah. We couldn't even score as a team because we didn't have enough people. We needed at least 5. We had 3 people.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so we didn't even score.
Man.
We didn't get team points. We just got individual points. But
that's
yeah,
interesting to think about.
yeah, that was an interesting year.
I was like, wow, is this really what? I was like serious, but at the same time, I was like, is this really what a cross country team is like in college is like?
No.
And I looked at other schools like, oh, it's not supposed to.
No,
be like
because
this.
you see American River, you see Hartnell, and all those big powerhouse, De Anza, those powerhouse schools, and you realize like they have an army. Like, they don't have like a team, they have an army of like runners, and it's insane because at NorCal, Hartnell ran their B team and won NorCal, and then went to state with their A team. American River did the same thing.
Wow, so they were just holding back.
They were holding back. It was like, it was practice for them. Like, it wasn't even, it meant nothing.
That's crazy that they have enough people for 2 teams. Wow.
That's how, I mean, in college, like in like the 4-year level, it's like you're on the top 7 or you're like a red shirt, essentially.
Yeah,
so,
everyone's competitive for that spot.
Yeah, it's very competitive.
No joke.
And I think it's max like, I want to say like 10 or 12 people. Like, on each on men's and women's, and it's not super big, but because you really just mainly have the top 7 and then you have like your reserves. But yeah, I don't know, looking back, I wish I had ran, because I could have walked on at SF State, but I was like, nah, I want to make money. So that's what I chose to do.
Over there?
Alex is over there. Yeah, he's still got one more year.
You can join him and be like, hey Alex, what's up?
I would have been way too slow for him at that point. I was nowhere near
But I mean, like,
that fast.
With his experience, like, they've been going like out of state, going to meets.
Yeah.
And like they're training in the winter.
Yeah.
Cold season and all that sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They got yeah, I mean, at the 4-year level, there's a lot more of that traveling, which is something like I kind of liked to be a part of too.
Road trips.
Road trips with teams, and you know, the bonds that you make while you're on the road.
Yeah.
That was something I wanted, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have been able to compete at any point in my time at SF State, but yeah.
All right, now we're gonna make a team now. And there's an ongoing joke with the cross country team. Like, I was like, man, I'm gonna make a team. I'm gonna call it Brick Bros, because for some reason I still made that mistake of like choosing the wrong shoes. So one of my trainer shoes, they're actually really heavy. Like,
yeah, they're like bricks.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like joking with them, and then it became an ongoing meme, and even coach was in on it because it actually did make me faster.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, oh, these shoes feel great, and then like I'm running with the guys, and like for some reason my footsteps are loud. I'm like, what's wrong?
It's those bricks.
And then the bricks, and then when I put on the flats, ooh, I was flying.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
You gotta put on some heavy shoes to make the flats feel like nothing.
Yeah.
You fly.
Yeah, that was my trick right there.
You ever do the things that the spinners do when they wear the rope around their waist and it pulls them back towards the fence?
I wanted to do
I forget what those are called.
Resistance training?
Resistance training, yeah.
The one where they have to like keep going and then...
Yeah, and then they let go.
I want to do the sled one.
The sled looks cool.
They grab the sled, and it's basically like weights on top of a sled, and you're just pushing it.
Yep.
And you have to lean at a certain angle or something, because like it's...
You have to push with your butt.
Yeah,
is what that's teaching you to do.
I was like, how bad is that? And I'm like, I want to try, but...
Although, like, I remember, like, the sprinters would do a workout, and they would be, like, dying, like, oh. And then I would do the same workout, and I'd be like...
Go try it.
I'll do another round of this. Like, this is... It's not that bad.
I think it's there's the distance and sprinter, like, workouts are on a different level.
Yeah.
But it's just...
I mean...
always poke fun of the sprinters.
I was never as fast as they were, like, but... I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to critique them or say like that they're less than this, because that's not true at all. It's a whole different sport, and you know, they're respectively good at sprinting, you know, whereas I wouldn't be. But in terms of like the workout itself and like just the duration of it, like it felt like nothing to me, because I'm used to that, because I have that endurance level built up from all those longer runs that I've done, you know. Yeah. So if I run like, you know, 6 200s at full speed. That's I'm fine. I can do another 6. Like,
yeah, I think we're thinking as a cross country runner, not thinking of like, oh, this is what it's like, you know, being a sprinter.
Right, because we run like 4-mile races. Like, what's a 200 to a 4-mile race?
We'll take, you know, a 200 any day. We'll take anything shorter than a mile, and like we'll still be fine. But then it's like with
except the 8. The 8's the only. Yeah. It's the exception.
That one's like, it's not a distance race. That's a sprint.
That's a beast of a race.
I don't know how they do it. And
I can never figure it out. I never figured out the 800.
And they get faster in the second lap too.
Yeah.
That's just their warm up.
Well,
the first one.
No, I mean, if you watch like,
if you do it right.
If you do it right, yeah,
or
and
you're doing it wrong, I guess. If you're doing it like that.
Normally how it goes is like you'll go out fast the first lap and then you'll fade in the second lap a little bit, but it'll be like maybe like 3, 4, 5 seconds difference. But if you're even splitting, like, that's like immaculate. Like that rarely ever happens. Or if you go faster in the second lap, then I don't know. I mean, I think you see that more in the pros, but
Yeah.
yeah, like at the collegiate level, like you'll see like a positive split by like a few seconds, but
Yeah.
and that's like insane. You know, you see like them bust out like a 52 the first lap, and then the second lap they bust out like a 55, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I still can't break 60 in a 400. That's my next goal.
What? Dude, you got to break 60.
I got 61.
You can break 60, dude. Come on.
I think I could.
I'll train you. We'll break
yeah,
60.
Yeah. No, good. All right, coach. I'm gonna just walk unattached. I told coach, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna visit your meets that you're hosting. He's like, yeah, go for it. I'll put you in. I was like, sweet. I'm gonna race you guys.
I'm gonna hop in there too.
I'll be like, hey, look who I brought.
I run a 100 meter.
Hey, let's do a relay.
And trainers.
Let's do a relay. Get Martine in here.
Oh yeah, for
Martine
sure.
and David.
Unattached relay. Oh, that'd be a meme.
4x4. And get Eric over here too. That'll be a fun team.
Throwback team.
Yeah. The dream team that just never happened yet. Oh man.
I don't think, I think we would have been, if everyone stayed, I think we would have been like mid-tier at best. I don't think we would have been that. I mean, for sure, like we would at least have team points, but I don't think we would be like one of the top teams for sure, because it was just so competitive that year with Dianza and who else? American River was just on another level, and Hartnell was just every year is just a powerhouse.
And then like Chabot kind of.
And then Chabot had a few studs. They had Reese Proctor. You remember him? The tall guy with the afro.
Maybe.
He was like nationally ranked or something, like insane. I think. What? I don't know where he's at now. I don't know where he. I think he went to some like Big Ten school or something. But
probably.
Yeah, no, he was killing it. I remember, and I was like, dang. I want to race him, but he's way too fast. I can't even get in his heat. Like,
I mean, you got to race Iman from Dianza.
I did race Iman, yeah.
That guy is fast.
That guy was quick, and I was able to keep up with him for like the first lap of the 8, and then he just took off, and I was like, oh god, I'm done, bro. I'm throwing in the towel. I can't keep up with him.
He's in San Jose State right now. He's running.
Oh, is he?
For the team.
Oh, okay.
His times are insane. Like he's in a video for Flow Track.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're doing it's like a Stanford meet, and like they had like the Air Force even on there, and
wow,
big schools, Stanford and I think Davis. I think
might have been the Stanford invite.
Yeah, I think it was.
Be my guess.
During the pandemic.
That's cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was quick, I remember, and I was talking to him, and I was like, oh, where are you from, Iman? He's like, yeah, I'm from France. I'm like,
wow.
I thought he said friends, and I'm like,
friends?
Where? Friends? And he's like, France. I'm like, oh, France. Got you.
That was the first interaction.
That was our first interaction.
It set a bad example right there. Just awkward silence after that. You're like,
I was like, oh, yeah, France. My bad. I sound hella dumb now. I'm just going to leave you alone and let you warm up.
Yeah, that was definitely a fun year. I got to travel so many times. Because in Hillsdale, it was like, you would kind of travel far, but it wasn't really.
Not really.
It wasn't like an hour or two, like.
It was like an hour max. Like, it wasn't.
It wasn't like the van life.
Oh, man. It wasn't like the drive to almost Oregon that we did a couple of times. Shasta.
No, that's like the longest road trip I've done.
What was it? 5 hours in the van.
5 hours. It was like.
Pretty sure it was 5.
It was like 3 or 4.
Oh.
But like we left in the afternoon. I think like 6 or something, and it's already 10, and then we gotta like get into the hotel. And then
one thing I remember most from that race that I'll never forget is that I think it was the day before. Like we were sitting around. I think we like just gotten there. He's like, we just drove 4 hours for your ass to race tomorrow. You better race good. I'm like, all right, coach, I got you. Don't you worry. He's like, you better qualify. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
And then I blew up. I remember he was pissed. He was like, he just walked off. I remember, and I was just like, oh
Yeah.
damn. And I was like, I was mad. Like I wasn't happy. And Burns was like, he came over and was like, don't worry about it. Like you'll be good. Like come track season, like
Dang, I think
you'll
he
be
put too much
solid.
pressure
And
on you.
yeah, no, and I remember that. I remember how mad he was. I was like, shit. I just pitched Coach Matt off.
I think it's like Matt was
And he was just
also-
starting to like me too.
Matt was also like, he was cheerful and hopeful for this day to come.
Yeah, I don't know.
Meanwhile, me and Martina are eating food. in the
Yeah, you
lobby,
guys are chilling out.
eating in the buffet for the breakfast.
Yeah, I think the most intimidated I felt that day was eating breakfast in the cafe area and then seeing American River, Deanza, and Hartnell all doing like shakeout runs, and I'm looking around, I'm going like, why are these guys running at 8 a.m. before the race? Like, what is it? I didn't understand like the importance of like the shakeout the morning of, and I was like, oh wait, they're doing a shakeout run to okay.
So like, what is it, to like flesh out?
Just to kind of like wake the body up and get it moving and kind of make things a little bit more fluid rather than, because everything stiffens up when you sleep. Just kind of loosen everything up, make the warm-up process a little bit easier. I probably should have done one, but yeah, I didn't really realize the importance of it. I was like, I'll just show up and we'll warm up and I'll be fine. But it didn't work like that.
Well, it's better than that time when we got the pink shorts. And I didn't wear spandex, so I didn't really know about the spandex.
The boxers were hanging out as you're...
And then Coach has a bunch of pictures of me, and I can see the boxers. Even during
the
warm-up.
briefs.
Yeah, I was
That
like,
was too funny.
yeah, like before we went to leave out of the hotel, we looked at it, and I was like, yeah, let me try it on just to see what it's like. I was like, wait, this is smaller than I thought. I was like, guys, we got a problem. My boxers are sticking out.
Yeah, you could have went without boxers. I think you would have gone away
I'm not
with
gonna
it.
go
But
commando.
you could go commando. It had the liner in it.
Yeah, but then once you go downhill,
What about downhill?
that hill that
Yeah.
was during the race,
Yeah.
you go down that hill and then it just flies out.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to flash people,
Uh,
and I don't think I was like, I'd be confident doing that.
I
Pull that
see.
look. That was interesting. It definitely
it makes you
PR'd on
faster. Yeah, I think we all did.
it. We all did, but like, man, that was like the highlight of the day. Coach was laughing. Everyone was laughing. I
Everyone, that was a fun trip. We all did really well. We all PR'd, and
We ate after that.
I felt like that was like I made it kind of thing, because like that was like the time I needed to like qualify to get there, and they're like, yeah, you're well on your way to state. And I don't know, but after that it was kind of like we were going to race one more, I think, and we didn't end up doing it, so I kind of messed with my head a little bit, the unknowingness and the uncertainty of the season and what was going to come of it. But yeah, and then NorCal happened.
Yeah, I mean,
Still wish I can
You
go back in
bummed?
time. Yeah,
I mean,
but it's okay.
it's never too late to.
I ran a
learn.
marathon after that, so
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely a big accomplishment that many have like continued running, but never at the point of like, hey, I'm gonna run 26 miles nonstop, or like,
it's my punishment for not making
or even doing
state.
13 miles. You know, that I don't think that like comes into somebody's mind, like
No.
run and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do a half marathon. I feel like you would only think of that if you're like, man, that 10Ks easy, 5Ks easy. I'm gonna step it up.
Yep.
Never like, hey, I'm
It's a
gonna
process.
I'm gonna jump right into this and like experience all sorts of pain and
Some people do, and I think that they just don't know what they're getting into. It's very naive to just jump
Yeah.
into a marathon, just cold turkey. But
that. I don't know how you do that.
yeah, I don't know. I think that's what Coach Kevin did. He always tells a story about when he was 19, he started running, and
Really?
his first race was a marathon, and he finished in like 4 hours or something like that, which is still like a decent time.
Yeah.
Going cold turkey, but I don't know. He told us like he ran in like basketball shoes or something like that, like because he didn't have like proper running shoes. Just like the wildest like story. I'm like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, or run 100 miles in the desert or something like that.
Insane. Some people were.
Yeah, I give him props. And he's like got a smile all the time. I don't know how he did it. Give him props. I think that's what like kept me going to do cross country and track and all that.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for him, and just teammates in general. Everybody like had a part and played an important factor into
For sure.
the seasons that I had.
For sure.
A lot of fun moments, a lot of mistakes, but everybody experiences some sort of regret. But you just gotta move on and then just try not to have regrets later on.
Right. Come back and be stronger the next time, or do something else that pushes you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a nice little way to remind yourself of, don't try to push yourself too hard to the point where you can't achieve it, or putting on a persona that you're not. That kind of stuff.
For sure. I gotta go.
All right, close it out for the viewers.
How do you close it out?
You just be like, thanks for listening to the LTA, or
The Latte Show.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Whatever you want to say to close it out. Go with your style if you want.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening to the Latte Show. Yeah, it was cool talking with my homie Felix for a little bit, reminiscing on the CSM days and the memes of cross country. But yeah, it's been real. Keep it lit, people.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure to have you on this.
We'll do it again soon.
Yeah. Taco run.
Taco run. All right. Peace.